gonna take a nap. I watched a documentary about something, and now I'm gonna piddle around on the internet some more. That's what I'm good at, piddling. My cup of coffee is somewhere else. I think I can buy the superior defense to cloak. And in all honesty, dude, I would think it might even be best to socket like most of my shit, other than like enough to get my like any spare sockets, dude. I think 10 spell penetration. Each spell pen is a reduction in the enemy's resistances. Like if you're trying to kill that goddamn pet earlier, our best kills are when we can kill that pet, right? That warlock pet, and then to get fucking 8 out of 10 if I can resist, you know what I mean? It makes it difficult, you know. I could have. The thing is like, well, you could try to spell steal. It's like, yeah, it's gonna resist the spell steal too, to get the gift of the wild or whatever off, right? So, superior defense, not an elixir. Pattern. Oh, cloak. This is what I need for the thing. I think I was sitting there fucking like, yeah, I'll be busy hunting fucking wolverines with my uncle then. And you're like, yeah, I bought all these. I keep selling them for 90 gold. The type of guy, dude. What person gets off on doing that kind of thing? Like, you see me standing here in line to purchase this thing, and you're like, and you gotta go, yeah, I bought the last 14 of them and sold them and made all this gold. I'm like, you must suck sitting here waiting in the fucking rain to see the new Harry Potter book drop or whatever. You're like, not only are you lying that you didn't do that, but you fucking sit there and poke fun at the fact that I have to sit here and wait for the thing to spawn. You know, it's like, what a dickhead, like something a little kid would do, you know, like a fucking little shithead mentality. Go figure, you find people like that on World of Warcraft of all things. So this is cloak, superior defense. This is it, right? I've tried to farm the fucking thing. I can just buy it off the auction house. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. So we got that. That shoes up a whole bunch of. This is gonna be great because look, I have to have a spare cloak somewhere, but I should get. I need to get. I need to get a spell pen to my PvE cloak too. Really, I think about it. So we got that. Hopefully by the end of this, I should be able to get. We got dream dust there. We need all of this illusion dust. Now the other day I bought like these things are like a gold each. Next time I see them super cheap. It's kind of risky though, you know, like oh, Carl Weathers, dude. I tell you, I live with the ghost of Carl Weathers. No one believes, well, let's say no one believes me, but I've got a reason to think it, and without the entire backstory as to why I think something so ridiculous, it won't make any sense. But when I explain it to you, and then I explain all the shit that's actually happened, you'll say, yeah, you fucking, yeah, no, fucking, I sure as shit do. Now, why would I say something like that? That could potentially offend somebody's family that I find fucking one of the coolest people of all time as far as movies and stuff and TV shows are concerned. Why would I say some off-the-cuff shit if I didn't believe it? Like potentially hurting somebody's feelings that I care about, right? So I must fucking mean the shit, right? I'm the type of person, like, if someone takes what I say the wrong way and gets their feelings hurt, I lose sleep over the shit for, like, months at a time. You know, like, because I hate when people do this shit to me so much, right? So, like, why would I say some shit like that if it weren't true? But yeah, no, I totally live with the ghost of Carl Weathers. So what? Big deal. Some of the strangest shit ever has happened. Okay, superior cloak defense. Now I need a spare cloak to enchant. And the leveling guide here is going to say 2 for 14 times. Goddamn Ruby Drape with the Mysticant. Mysticant! Is that, it's what Superman, Superman's fucking, receptionist calls him. Oh, it's armor. Okay, I thought it was actual, like, spell defense. Right. Yeah, no, I still need the, spell penetration to cloak for PvE, I believe. Because bosses have, like, a set amount. I don't know if you ever sock it for it, but getting spell pen on your cloak. Mr. Kent. Superior defense. That's it. 14 from give me to 299, man. And then I can get all of this shit out of my bags and have it leveled and sell the rest of it. I know a few fucking meme coin people right now are. Right. Now you know how the Jews felt when they almost ran out of menorah oil. All the fucking meme coiners. Like, these memes are gonna get us through a really tough winter this year. Like, and for some reason, by the grace of God, right? That one drop of fucking menorah oil managed to light the candle or whatever the fucking story is. All your fucking peanut coins and fart coins, right? What a silly system. Yeah, you can liken your goddamn shitty meme coins to menorah oil at this point. $2.99. $2.99 is where we're going. All right, now succulent meal, Jerry. I gotta make eggs and bagels here soon too. I'm not doing like intermittent fasting or whatever, but I am doing this thing where I gold pearl illusion dust. This thing where I drink a protein shake, like a celery and kale and collard greens and all that stuff. The first thing in the morning, and whey protein instead of like a meal. So it's not quite like fasting, but I get sick not eating. You know what I mean? Like, so we need greater planers. Let's see, we should have some of this shit, right? I sold some yesterday, but golden pearl, an arcanite rod, which I don't know where you get that from. 4 greater planers. We've got, so I can, that 4 there. And then greater planers, I don't have any of those, do I? Lesser, greater eternals, rather. And where do you get the runed arcanite rod, or arcanite rod? The vendor? By having a blacksmith craft using, God, I can just buy one off the auction house then. And then 4 greater planers. That's not, no. Eternal. Only 4 of these. Now 12 gold. Now I could have, now if I had known that the fucking shit, what did I pay for all these is the question. That's about how much they were at the time, so I think I paid a gold 40 each to get all 300 of them, and like a gold 20, which I paid extra, but just waste my time. I didn't know the next pattern was like a fucking rare drop or whatever. No. Now we need a golden pearl. Yeah. I don't like Minecraft. Just fucking gathering and all that. That's the thing is, like, I don't like to talk shit about people, but this realist group, yeah, I don't know if they're ever gonna, like, months ago, I hate that just, like, almost 2 years has gone by, right? They migrated their token. I got fucked over on the migration because it said you had to wait until March, and it turns out, well, that was a claim period, so whatever amount of token I held just from a curiosity perspective to see what it's about, I didn't get in the migration because this goddamn, they took no effort to explain to their community how to do the migration, which is shitty. And I start to wonder, I'm like, if you're another one of these groups of people that are just playing fucking shark thief about the shit and like purposely not telling your community how to migrate the token so that way you have more of it, they effectively burned half of the supply by migrating through pump fund or whatever swap fund or whatever the fucking thing was. I'm like, you guys fucking, you didn't, unless I missed it, dude, like they didn't take any explanation to explain the migration process. Yeah, I don't have much nice to say about the guys right now. Whether or not I'm right or wrong, I don't really know, but um, shitty judgment on their part, but I lean towards the fact that, like, well, it's been like 2 years now, almost a year and a half or whatever, and they have yet to produce like this dashboard they said that they were going to make for a Minecraft server. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, working with Def and the team at Leah, like seeing how much those people put together in such a short period of time, you're like, so what's the excuse? Is this more just about smoking mirrors and daggers, cloak and dagger shit? Any intention ever to actually provide like nothing at all? Like, and you don't think that there's not any explanation owed to your token holders or anything to as to what the fuck is going on, other than just wait for it. You know, like dogs sitting there waiting to get fed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a dog. I'm sitting here waiting to get fed by some idiot on the internet. But yeah, at the end of the day, though, like, I'm leaning towards the side of being cautious, obviously, but I'm not necessarily a part of their projects in any way, shape, or form. So if my criticism's helpful for anybody else, the fact of the matter is, in a year and a half's time, something more substantive than nothing at all should have been presented forward, right? On top of that, this group that they say is financing their project, called like the Five Horsemen Capital or whatever, I didn't do like a fucking thorough investigation, but I cannot find any reference to these people online anywhere whatsoever. So it's just like, oh, like behind the scenes, they all sit there and chatter to each other and say like, oh, well, let's call it Five Horsemen Capital, and they're like, there's really rich guys and blah blah blah. And they don't like to be known about anything, and they won't be public, and you can't find any reference of them, and they just call themselves that. Like they like the work that we did is what they said was their reasoning for getting funding, and I'm like, what work? What presentable work? Period. Any? None that I can see. Like, well, we had to shut down the Minecraft server, and I wasn't there at the time, so I don't know if it was up and running to begin with. And then when I'm the only person that managed to log onto the server, you know, no explanation on the website as how to do the installation process or any of it. I'm like, hate to say I think the thing's a fucking scam, but it sure as shit looks like one, you know, without any presentable anything whatsoever. So I'm glad I lost my fucking tokens, you know, whatever. To the migration process. And like, yeah, that's sort of on me to know how to do it, but I'm like, I thought I read thoroughly, whatever. Like, it seems more like a gimmick, you know, like, well, that's our way of kind of keeping our hands clean and burning half the supply. You're like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't agree with it. Why wouldn't you talk your community through that kind of thing and explain to them the reason why? And they have a suspiciously active community of people, like, and not one of you people are raising questions as to why the thing doesn't exist. Yeah, so if I might be wrong, but I'm saying it's a fucking scam to myself, right? Seems like it. And if they put something forward more substantive than, well, nothing at all, then I might revise my statement, right? But for now, it sure looks that way. And I get it, no, like, hardships, you know, I understand that does happen. I'm going through it myself, but there's also the thing that I'm going through it with currently has produced a mountain of code and development and in-house developed software and unique utilizations of like all these other pre-existing APIs and technologies and frameworks and all that stuff. So like enough to dispel any of my potential criticisms as to how some of the things might have been conducted to a large degree. Um, but when I see absolutely nothing at all, you know what I mean? And I see like this vigilant, hyperactive community chatting with each other and doing all this stuff in group and all this, and I'm like, well, it just looks like that's all they're doing. Like the more you have to beat the drums about how good something is versus showing everybody how good it actually is, it's like I kind of prefer, I wish more people would come forward for Leah and say like, yeah, you guys should really give this thing a chance and all that, and take a look at the videos and stuff that I made, because currently no existing pitch deck demo fucking anything exists that I know of. Maybe some like a slideshow or something, a brief rundown, but there's no way for potentially anybody interested in seeing what she's about and being able to utilize the platform in any way, shape, or form. So at the time, I'm very glad that I made these videos, because no one else, was one of those things where yet again, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be the only one to show up. Don't be mad when it works out in my favor eventually, right? These people that all swore up and down it's all they fucking care about is the project and don't even know what it's about, right? No indication, no clue as to like what's even going on here. So let me see real quick. The Runed Arcanite Rod. Now I need to go to this thing say I still need all those illusion dust. Where do I have to go to get it? Runed Fell Iron Rod. R-U-N-E-D. Rund. Rund Fell Iron Rod? Wait up. Runed Fell Iron Rod. Anyway. Or no, I just need a Fell Iron Rod, derp. That's the thing though, like whatever. But in my mind, and I voiced this opinion, I would prefer, like, and not shit I can do about it, right? I did mention to Def, though, as his project Leah, he's the fucking head of the project and everything. I told him, I'm like, I have done some digging on these people, man, and I just would say err on the side of caution, because they cannot present anything, and I know he's too busy he's too busy to beta test his own work, essentially, on even Leah, for the most part, to the extent that's required to make it work and all that stuff. So he doesn't have the time to say like, well, we were early on, he had talked to these people or whatever, and they launched tokens at the same time. But from what I can gather, he's got absolutely like no affiliation with the people, more or less just launched a token at the same time, and they seem to, from what I can gather, glom onto his project more than the other way around. I think he provides like a chatbot service or something for their Discord group. But when I asked him, he said no, there's no like partnership, or he didn't say there wasn't any partnership, but he, because the thing has mentioned that there was or whatever. But when I asked, and I just told him to err on the side of caution. He's like, yeah, I don't know him as well, and this and the other thing, trying to hopefully steer him in the right direction as far as maybe trying to get away from some of these people, if possible. Because I say at some point in time, any prior association with any of these less than reputable individuals is going to be met with them trying to glom on to and ride his coattails and his accomplishments, right? So I questioned the lead developer of Realist, and said, and publicly stated, like, unless I see more, I'm going to have to tell everybody that you need to err on the side of the caution with this, because people are all about hype and not about substance. And when I did my due diligence to determine where the substance may be, if there ever was any, there turned out to be none. It's a regular fucking Minecraft server that costs $15 a month to host on Amazon, right? No AI implementation. An awesome idea, I guess, but like, yeah, everybody has good ideas. The fact of the matter is that they made it seem like they needed to garner some sort of round of fundraising for a thing to run a Minecraft server. is like $50 a month, $30 a month at the most. You know what I mean? With 0 players nonetheless. So I hope that shoes up any confusion as to how that went at some point in time. But yeah, I don't know how. What I can gather is that he's not super attached to the people. You know what I mean? And I really hope there's a whole lot of people he's not attached to. At the end of the day, for what it's worth, I pray that there's a whole lot of people he can tell to fucking kick rocks and get lost and all that. Without getting into any specifics, but you know, I hope he can do that to pretty much everybody besides me and maybe just a few other people. I hope. Just being honest, right? I sure should hope so. I mean, what he's done is totally worth whatever. Like, and I tell you that from as much of a professional assessment that I can give, right? Having worked with the guy every day for the last fucking 15, 16 months or whatever more it's been, right? As much as my assessment may or may not matter, people that are in crypto, these are the type of people, man, like the people we have tried to ward off in chat, saying like, well, no one gives a shit about features, all they want is hype, and hype is blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, right, you are a fucking idiot, basically. You are what's wrong with crypto, you know? If there were only 100 cryptocurrencies that existed, right, in the top 100 list, you know what I mean? The world would be a better place with only 100 cryptocurrencies, I promise you. I wish there were a way to get rid of most of them if possible, right? But there isn't. Where to train? But I hate to see that, like, honor hole. These are things I can't make people do, but I think, right. And I'm like, as much as my advice is neither here nor there currently, where my input is I think maybe helpful, having been here a while and having done this thing and having launched tokens in the past that were met with some success, and having dealt with the space and the people and like trying to feel out characters that are either there for the right reasons or not there for the right reasons. And like one of these things I just cannot tolerate is these fucking people role playing in the chat. And I've voiced my opinion as to how, and I'm telling you this from a point of experience. If you like the feds, the FBI, the Securities and Exchange Commission people that everybody hates more than anything, all they do is clown in those fucking chats, and they read every fucking message, period, on every I guarantee you, every pump fund coin that has passed the bonding curve has some dipshit at the desk from the FBI that monitors that chat and keeps logs of everything. You know what I mean? Securities and Exchange Commission, FBI, all the same thing essentially when it comes to that. I can guarantee you that, right? Like, there's a guy at the FBI that has a caseload, and his job is to sit in the chats of probably however many you can fit in, you know, however many you can sit inside and just pay attention to the chat, right? And if you don't think that they aren't hip to people role-playing in the chat, yes, they are. They're very intelligent individuals. I've dealt with these people. Like, some of these people that think they're like the slickest crypto scammer on planet Earth, dude. Like, I'm telling you from a point of personal experience that you are not smarter than these people. If you were, you wouldn't be scamming people, right? So some of the things that I would change if humanly possible is to drop the fucking hammer on these people role-playing in the chat, because what it looks like is insidery behavior and people trying to share information when they shouldn't, and people and there isn't a whole lot of it that goes on in Leah, but there's enough of it to say, like, and here's the thing is that I don't know how much they know, right? I don't know how much people believe me when I say this kind of thing or understand what it's about, right? At the end of the day, I'm trying to potentially curb any possibility of you getting a knock at your door or me getting a knock at my door for something somebody else did.
Can I help you?
And that's about it, right? So any of this like role playing, like come on, man. Like, these people need to either need to quit with the shit, or at some point in time, they have got to set a precedent that shit can't be allowed there, you know? Where's this person at? Master Enchanter. But yeah, like, those people have a caseload, right? And they are like, well, here's my caseload. These projects are the things that they're monitoring. Not that I can say I know who the person is or anything, but I guarantee you that there is feds, FBI agents, people from wherever, sitting inside pretty much every pump fund coin that ever passed the bonding curve or whatever, or graduated, right? To monitor what's going on, right? And if you don't think that they're not smart enough to figure out, like, all the fucking... the people role-playing and doing this, that, and the other thing, like, come on, man. Don't set yourself up for that shit. It's not that important to do to begin with. You know what I mean?
See you around.
What did I see that not long ago? They were like, we believe, and we have inside information that believes this guy Orangey, one of these pump fund guys, right, was attempting to launch a meme coin or some shit, right? I'm like, how do you think they got that information? Right? From somewhere. I don't know how true it is, but I'm sure they didn't just make the shit up. So, I'm doing my best, trying my hardest to separate what I'm doing from what they're doing, despite the fact that it is kind of a cesspit. Makes it difficult, and there are going to be hiccups. There are going to be mistakes. There are going to be things that have require an explanation of some sort. There always is. I would be more worried about the guy that thinks that there's no explanation required for any of it than the guy that says, well, you know, there are a few things that had I gone back in time, I might have done this just a little bit different. You know, this was a learning process for myself included. Versus like, well, no, I'm just perfect all the time and never make mistakes, and it failed because somebody else didn't do what they were supposed to do, right? But whatever, you know, these people set up the straw man for why they didn't succeed, you know, and blame the straw man, the person that can't be physically present. I'm familiar with it. Like I say, these people doing these pump fund tokens or whatever are getting to the point now where the people that were launching ICOs in 2017 got to in 2018 when they were like, well, you've made these promises, now what can you now, and like, I don't know the legalities of it, but you have made these promises publicly, you have fundraised on the fact that these are the things that you say you're going to provide. What are you going to do about it now, right? If nothing at all, then there's probably some people that are going to want to have you answer some questions, right? And they're going to want to see, right? I've done this before, I've dealt with these people, I know for a fact. They're waiting for the time to come where people get paid and then they can collect. You know, it is a kind of like a racket, but so trying to educate people as much as possible to stay away from the shit if possible, as much as you can do to distance yourself from it. Second floor of the Wizard Tower. Oh. And at the end of the day, the pump fund thing, I don't agree with it, right? I'm not upset with the people that run pump fund or whatever, because they have built a seemingly legitimate platform that serves a purpose, but what goes on behind the scenes, I'm sure it's a fucking cesspit like anywhere else.
Good day to you. Have a good one. What can I do for you?
But you just don't want to get to the point where anybody else's missteps or mistakes ends up
Safe
costing
travels.
you, you know? I've been through it before. I don't appreciate it. And I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying that.
See you later.
Right. So realists, I'd have to say, in my own opinion, until I see more, I would say it's a no-go, right? Like, just because, like, no, there's, I could be wrong though, right? Like, they could have had a fucking dashboard and I didn't research enough or this, that, or the other thing, but I would hope to see that more people did just a little bit of digging. A good idea. It seems like an interesting concept, but where's the enchanting guide? Ruined fell iron rod. Do I need greater planers? I thought I bought these already. Oh, I bought 4 and used them. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I got on that subject. I really don't, but I feel like these are things that could be discussed more without upsetting. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, if this is what you're about, I give a shit less if you're upset about what I have to say. Um, which Weird Al actually mentioned that means that you could care more. I could care less means you actually do care, right? People say it wrong. It's I couldn't care less, right? Greater Eternal Fell Arcanite Rod. No, we need 4 greater planers. Not greater planers, greater eternal. But then again, I understand though, someone like Def, like, it is a crypto community. There are shit like you cannot know for sure until time does its thing or whatever. But I would suggest him try and get as far away from those people as humanly possible, and also separate himself from. There is I think a pre-prompt thing entered into Leah that show like what does your personality consist of, like what some things that we should know about you before we go forward. That way, when you have a conversation with people, um, what's your backstory, like with Leah, like the thing that the pre-prompt instruction set or whatever. And in there, he includes that a partnership with realists, right? I would suggest him at some point in time remove it if possible, until they have something more to show for it. Now she's not up and running now, and it's not a problem because, right, it's such a limited viewing experience that it doesn't really matter. But those are all things like he certainly didn't screw up. It's certainly not a mistake. It's just you got a cohort. You have to interact with people in the community and figure out who the good apples and bad apples are. So yeah, I wouldn't consider it a mistake by any means, right? Just hopefully when the time's right, they can separate themselves from that maybe just a little bit further. Chant, cloak, superior defense. Enchant, cloak, superior defense times 25. Right?
What's on your mind? What's your back?
Now that I think about it, though, I am getting hungry, so I'm gonna go cook something real quick. I'll be right back. I ate 4 of those, dude. I could probably eat 8 or 10 of them right now. I'm that fucking hungry. 4 eggs and 2 bagels. I could eat 4 bagels and 8 eggs, more than likely. 8 slices of cheese. I am fucking starving to death. God damn it. I didn't realize how hungry I got. Oh, I was right, 74. I paid more for them than that, but whatever. I didn't realize I was going to have 70 left after. Now we need enchant cloak major armor, which is all arcane dust. If I have the recipe. Oh, I can disenchant epics now. Cool. I think.
I can't use that.
Look at people say things are best in slot when they aren't. Like, oh, a shaman needed on that cloth belt over me. He goes, it's best in slot. Like, I'm looking at the best in slot item for you. It's got mail. It's mail armor, not fucking cloth, and it's better stats. The best in slot means no, the best in slot that you can roll need on currently, I guess. It's better than what you have, but to call something best in slot, no, basically, no, it's not. No, it's not. I just asked my uncle. He said no. He said no, it's not. Superior defense. Now we need arcane dust is no major armor, which is 120 armor. God. What? Where do I get the recipe from? Enchant. I have to go to another vendor now. No. Well, maybe. Wizard oil. We should have it already. Enchant thing here. Where's the time machine at? Do you think we'll ever have a point in time where you have an AI debate in a presidential election?
Warm wishes.
Wouldn't that
to
be
you.
interesting? Just to see, right? Just to think, like, not like it's actually running for president, but to see how an AI would do in a public debate form. You know what I mean? In a political arena, like, and you might say, like, it starts off that way, right? By the end of it, though, they might actually elect an AI president eventually. Probably not anytime soon, but I guess with some obvious overrides available, I'm sure. But we would think, like, just putting a fucking AI in the debate, you know, give them a hologram or whatever, just to see, like, well, you know. And we should get enough to get 12 spell damage to ring. I think I have it. You get the honor time or keepers of time honored, plus you can purchase it from the vendor in Karazhan. Falling there on my mount. God damn it. It has to be the place. James Gandolfini. Look, James Gandolfini lives here. Right. I just now come to the realization that his last name's Gandolfini. Right. Fucking James Gandolfini lives here. Fucking Mage Tower. Oh, fucking whatever. Where do you train?
Safe travels. How are you? See you later. You need something? Have a good one.
No, thank you. Chanting, cloak, assault, bracers,
Cloak armor. Are you new here? Are you new here? Are you new here? So we have to do that a few more times here, right? Now that'll get us to the level. Like, enchanting looks like it's fucking easy to level. Alright. And I only need 365 to get the ring enchant, which is the only thing I want from it, really. But for now, Jerry, I need to do that 3 times. Yeah, I don't know why I went off on that tirade. I just, it's better to say something than nothing, I guess. Now, enchant chest, major spirit. Ooh, spooky.
Hello.
Has to keep flying here and there because I got the goddamn We're going to get the goddamn things out of the bank. Now we go to Shatterwrath. I guess it's quicker to go to Shatterwrath. That was what it looked like, bro. Minesweeper. New glory to you too. Now this should clear up all of this extra space, right? And all of our greater planers. We might as well get some of these here. While we're here. Chant chest, Mater Spirit. Now I've got resilience on my chest, and I don't have my spellfire thing enchanted.
Sun guides us. The reckoning is at hand.
I need to do that. "25 times it says. 15 spirit's pretty good though. Not really. Until I'm level 340. It's crazy how good they set up casters in the beginning of this expansion. Just like 3 pieces of gear that are best in slot until like the very last instance, pretty much. Like close to, I guess, maybe Black Temple and all that stuff, but like it's spellfire shit's like really good all the way up into until Hydral, I'm pretty sure, and all that stuff, right? If I remember correctly. I didn't replace my robes until I got the craftable robes out of Sunwell, which are a super rare drop, but those things are so good. They're BOP pattern, spellfire, spell strike, fucking robes or some shit. We got them like our first week doing Sunwell Plateau and retail. And I won them, and I created them, and they were the best. I guess get spell pin to cloak for PvE unless there's some damage enchant that I'm not aware of. So we got that now. 340 is I gotta get nightmare vines. Ooh, at least I need these though. Like I really do need wizard oil. Now let's plan this out so we don't have to make so many trips. Rune adamantite. Oh, means I need an adamantite rod. 8 primal might. Oh, that's expensive. It's one of each, I think. Now if I get the fucking nightmare vine or whatever. All this for 24 damage to my rings. It'll be helpful in PvE and PvP though, because I think a flask is like 100 something damage, right? Not having to pop a flask to get like a quarter of a flask.
Is this got a pint?
No. 80. 24, so yeah, about a quarter of it. Cool.
Up with it.
Nightmare vine. 15 of them. Maybe. Let's just get a fucking stack of 20 and save my time here. And then 15 imbued vials. I need an adamantite rod. Adamantite rod. Blacksmithing. It's 40 gold. Where do I get the pattern for that? They sell that at the yeah, fuck all that. They sell that at the vendor, don't they? So here's the dilemma. So this I fucking gotta get the ruined adamantite rod from this person in Hellfire. How fucking shit. $15 to 30 minutes. These guys are selling for 40 gold each. I don't want to buy it and then get there and go, yeah, it's there, you know, it's there. So derp. I'd love to get to doing my thing again at full force and all that, so I could eat fucking 4,000 and 5,000 calories a day. It'll be awesome. It'll be so awesome. Where to get imbued vials from? If I remember correctly, it's like some weird...
What can I do for you?
Of course you don't sell them. Where did I get them last time? Alchemy supplies. Alchemists. There's agents. Might this be it? Might this be it?
Would you like to
Nope.
purchase something?
Well,
On
hey,
the way.
do you have any bath salts?
Right.
I've the finest wares in the land.
May just wear another one. Remember how proud I was of my mage, level 60, dude. This is so much work. The goddamn. Where's general trade supply vendors found in the. Where is Sully Berry Fizz? Can you just show me on the map, guy? All the way through there. I did this last time. This is not near the Mystic Ward. The other end of the goddamn country. Any of these alchemy suppliers? I'm not an alchemist, so I'm not necessarily familiar with the landscape here. I got that. Did I at least get the thing? Okay, there, out of the bank, right? Now, enchanting, I should be able to make. I don't have the recipe for the wizard oil. I gotta go back to goddamn Hellfire. And I gotta get the pattern for the other thing. Dad, can you make this easier? Free action potion. Imbued vial. Guess I need 4 of these. There we go. I gotta get a primal might. Primal might, I like primal wood. Yeah, I guess it's worth it.
Out of range.
So we've got all of the shit we need for that. Primal might, 8, 9, blah blah. Blah blah, blah blah. More stuff.
What's on your mind?
Now.
What's your bet?
yeah, we've got a viewer. We have 2 viewers. Oh my god, 2 viewers. I'm leveling enchanting, in case you were wondering. Wha- Now the thing I need to... Wait, are these all meanies? These are all meanies, bro. Oh, that's the one I need to go to. The temple, not the whatever, but... Okay, so I'm looking for the vendor... Void Sin reagent vendor here. And if this person doesn't have it, I have to go all the way back to Ironforge, purchase the thing for 20 or 40 gold off the auction house, and where are you? So I can see where you're at. There you are. No one camped out here.
I hope you'll find something useful.
Moment of truth. Oh, it is there.
Be kind to those less
I
fortunate.
can't use that.
God, thank you. You have to fucking go all the way to Ironforge, so I'm like, yeah, I know it's a shiesty fucking 30 gold, whatever. It's like having to farm 2 primal fires, right? Which I have 7 spell threads left. It's crazy. James Gandolfini's house, right? Get it? Because he's a wizard.
You need something?
Because Gandalf's a wizard. Get it? Do you guys understand me?
Have a good one. Good day to you.
Where do I get the thing now for enchanting? Major spirit? The fucking wizard oil. Jerry? $45 arcane dust, 15 nightmare vine, and where do I get the recipe for superior wizard oil? Is there a recipe? The lower city. Fucking god damn it, dude. It didn't say that on the thing there, I don't think. hurt anymore.
See you later. I supply only the finest goods. Have a good one. You need something? Safe travels.
Does it really though?
Looking for
Curious to
something
know.
specific?
Then ruined Eternium Rod. At some point in time.
See you around.
Where's my food and water in my bag so I can have room to make these things real quick?
What are you looking for?
Oh, you already
See you
know.
later.
I have a bank full of these things now. It's great that they give like wizard oil's awesome. You should like always have a wizard oil, you know. But it's great that they have you level using something or to make something that you actually use
The dark times
versus
will
like
pass.
mostly shit.
Remember the sun well.
Okay.
Our enemies will fall.
Two more levels. I will never need wizard oil ever again if I could just get these two levels, you know. Perfect.
Be ready for
I got that taken care of. I gotta find a pair of gloves to enchant with strength.
State your business.
I can't use that.
Keep your wits about you.
now 20 major strengths. 352. It's crazy that major strength to gloves is like relatively cheap enchant, but spell power is expensive unless there's a better version of strength somewhere. Maybe. Come on now. We can get to it, guy. I'm streaming right now. I forgot. I'm like zonked out for a second. It is Sunday. I should get up and go to church. One more level. We're gonna get there. Enchant ring to spell power. Now I should have
Our enemies will fall.
bracer to this, weapon agility. I can learn all this stuff now. Striking, savagery. Yeah, my dad. Oh, dad. This is my fucking idiot brother and his friend growing up. I've told the story how they bought these goddamn walkie-talkies. Well, they stole the walkie-talkies from Walmart, and they were like these like. They were such an impressive piece of technology that you don't think they should have been on the shelf at Walmart.
We will have justice.
But they were advertised as 3 miles walkie-talkies, handheld. They were like you had to buy them $100 each, right? And they actually went 3 miles. Like today, you go get like a fucking 50-mile walkie-talkie. It sputters out at like a mile and a half at best, right?
The dark times
So they
will
they
pass.
stole these walkie-talkies from Walmart, and they actually went 3 miles. So before cell phones, they used to use these things like cell phones,
Glory to
and
the
they'd sit there and
Sindora.
have these like gay orgies on the radio for people to hear, just like not like real like but they were just fucking trolling people.
Anaria
So for in
Shala.
every direction, 3 miles this way, 3 miles that way, you could hear my fucking idiot brother and his friend Travis talking about like calling each other dad, talking about sucking each other off and doing sound effects, and all sorts of gay shit, dude. They would get going, yeah, like for days at a time. That's all they fucking did.
The dark times will
Like,
pass.
and you're like sitting there thinking like, there's some guy with a goddamn CB radio antenna just sitting there jerking off, listening to these fucking idiots. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, like, yeah, right. The gayest truckers on planet Earth, apparently, or whatever. Like, the worst shit you could possibly imagine. Talking about eating each other's shit and smearing it on each other. Like the aristocrats on steroids, dude. It was the grossest. The grossest stuff I've ever heard come from a human being. The foulest thing ever. That's exactly what they did. I'm like, yeah, there's. I don't know if there's a. I mean, like, I know they did it, but I don't know if they like if there's like a group that records shortwave transmissions at the time or whatever it was. And ever since then, I've been like obsessed with walkie-talkies for some reason. I think they're like the coolest thing ever.
Our enemies will fall.
And I've even looked for that specific walkie-talkie before because I've purchased some like 10 and 15 mile walkie-talkies that don't do shit, right? But for some reason, they found like these like, oh, they like you hear about the 100-mile-an-hour or 100-mile carburetor that they accidentally built at General Motors, right? It's like, how the fuck did that get on the shelf, dude? The thing is the coolest walkie-talkies ever. Oh, now we have 3 viewers, right? Right. Yeah, Dad. Two gay guys calling each other Dad. Talking about giving each other. I forget if I'm on TikTok. Can you even get banned for saying this shit? I mean, this is probably, but it was. No one watches this. Don't worry. I don't know if it gets against things. Human anatomy, right? Foulest shit ever, dude. Anyway, so enchant ring, we got fortitude. Come on now. The ring pattern. Oh, I had striking. Adds 2 damage to physical attacks. So I got the permanently enchant ring to add 2 damage to physical attacks. So that's not 12 spell damage. I have to go to goddamn caverns of time. Oh, no wonder. Like they had their own podcast, or whatever, using just these goddamn handheld radios. The James and Travis special. That's yeah, their names, James and Travis. The ones that fucking robbed a video game store for PlayStation 2 before PlayStation 2 before it was even out in America yet. Idiots. I say that like not true, but you know, super funny. Not true in the fact that like no, they're not idiots. No, they definitely the PlayStation 2 was not out in the United States when they decided to break into a video game store and steal one from some guy who was a beta tester or whatever, and they got caught up because the person that they robbed the video game store with, he's like, well, all I want from the deal then is I just want that PlayStation 2. You guys can have all the fucking 8 or 9 garbage bags full of Super Nintendo. The closet looked like fucking a 9-year-old won the lottery. I did, right? I'm like, oh, and my brother's like, I'll give you a Dreamcast every week that you keep Mom and Dad out of this closet, right? And he did too. They had like 30 or 40 Sega Dreamcast, every Super Nintendo game ever made, a PlayStation 2, all these Japanese titles and stuff. And I had to keep the goddamn PlayStation 2 under a towel downstairs in case someone came by and saw it. I remember showing my friend Sam, my goofball friend growing up. I'm like, look at this, I got a PlayStation 2. He's like, nuh-uh. Like, yeah, no, totally. Don't ask me how I got it, right? Showed it to him. You know, it surprised him because his brother was a PlayStation guy, enthusiast too, although an idiot. But yeah, and yeah. So the guy Ricky Bernard, piece of shit, went to try and sell the PlayStation 2 from the place that they stole it from. Or no, he sold it to somebody else, and then they tried to sell it to the place they stole it from. And the owner of the store went to the cops. They found this guy Ricky Bernard. The cops said, okay, well, we want you to wear a wire. And he's like, yeah, they're selling all sorts of video games and drugs out of their basement or whatever. And which wasn't true. And he goes, okay, or whatever. He didn't actually wear a wire, but he said, well, we'll give you this like $20 or $30, and you go down, or you go knock on the door downstairs, whatever, because it's back door to the house or whatever, and go buy as many video games as you can get, right? And he said, okay, you know, and he goes, hey, James, can I borrow some Nintendo games? And he borrowed them, pocketed the money from the cops, told the cops that my brother and his friend were selling stolen property or whatever, and then the cops got their warrant because of that, right? Or they would have gotten away with the shit. All because not only was the guy a narc, he was also a thief, like stealing from my brother plus the cops at the same time, and he ended up getting like a slap on the wrist for narking on everybody. Not to mention the guy had a rap sheet like a mile long of trying to cash bad checks and all this other shit too. Like total idiot. So, a little about me, but yeah, that's how the household I was raised in was consistent with this kind of shit all the time. It seemed like. Right, all past the statute of limitations. They served their time for it, right? Whatever. But yeah, they had like one of like a dozen PlayStation 2s or 10 or whatever, how many there were. There weren't very many. You had to apply for like a developer's license or whatever at the time, and they only gave them out to certain people to beta test them and everything. And somehow my brother ends up with one, right? And then once the loot was split with Ricky, Ricky went to the goddamn, sold it to some random guy. The only video game in town, only video game store in town, right? Not to mention the place was like, you could throw a rock from the police station and hit the game place, right? Like quite literally in the backyard of the police station doing this shit, like some of the craziest shit ever. But I was like, oh fuck, dude, trash bag Santa Claus, right? all that games for me. I'll fucking bite your goddamn fingernails off if you want me to. And then like when you have like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid walking around, I guess I should put this in the book now that I think about it. Fucking 9-year-old kid with a cell phone and gold chains and all that shit. Like, how the fuck did you get all that money? Don't ask, don't tell, basically. Yeah, no, I had to keep the stash safe from my parents, basically, and I got paid a Dreamcast a week to do it for however long until the shtick was up, right? And then it all came crumbling down. I don't know what's quicker, this way or that way. But in my mind, I see it as like an anime, because you would think like at the time my brother had just turned 18, to an 18-year-old kid, that's like the equivalent of like a casino heist, right? So, in the sense that like there's Ocean's 11, you know, they did some pretty Ocean's 11 shit, like they cut the alarm to the place and everything. But it would be cool to make it like an anime, and it'd be called the first American PlayStation 2 Part 1, and then make a Part 2, so it's like super redundant, you know, like the first American PlayStation 2 Part 1 and Part 2, right? To make it a 2-part anime that ends with like them getting gunned down in the middle of the street or whatever, and like running like you see in what's that movie, Casino, where he runs to the door and the guy gets shot in the back a whole bunch of times, and like the coins go flying everywhere, right? Whatever the fucking movie was, right? But an anime, you know, because I think the Japanese kind of covet that more than probably even like a bank heist movie, right? They relate more to the topic of discussion or whatever. They appreciate their video games, basically.
What brings you here?
Oh, major spell power. Oh, really? Are you fucking with me, guy? I'm fucking fire spec right now. Or not. That target's invulnerable.
That's still
Why is he invulnerable? Did you guys see that? Where did all my chat stuff go? Are you fucking kidding me? Why was that guy? Did you see that? It said target's invulnerable like a million times. Wouldn't let me attack him. Bother me for no reason, dude.
I am
I had the rogue targeted and everything, and it wouldn't let me kill him. It's stupid. Did you guys see that? Wasn't a bit weird? In fact, the guy was invulnerable, I couldn't attack him.
What can I help you with?
Anyway.
Victory!
Victory.
Valhalla!
So for enchanting, I don't need to max it, I just need ring spell power. Oh look, I can do my this and that and this and that. And then I can do major glove spell power to my PvP gloves. Maybe not, because it's 6 primal mana, but I have completed my mission. I have gotten all the goddamn enchanting stuff done, right? Yeah, Dad, you tell him, Dad. Now, extra 24 damage, dude. That's quite the fucking bonus, ain't it? I'm all about them bonuses, dog. I like them bonuses. Where is? Didn't I have a thing here? Edit mode? No. Oh, come on now. What's all this about? Can I shrink it ink this? Narrow. Fuck. I need better raid frames, really. Save. Okay, whatever. This here, though, I should have a settings. Now, how do I make a new Whispers, DMs? How do I make a new box here? There's like one of these general tabs. This is a thumbtack. Chat. Anyway, chat channels. The fact of the matter is, I like to keep the. I don't like having trade chat. There's so much shit going on there that you can't even make sense of it. And there should be a way to make a new window here, right? Edit mode. That's the wrong edit mode. Make non-editor active. Create a new window. Okay. And then we want this to be make non-interactive, so I don't accidentally click it. And then settings here, chat. We don't want to see yells. Let's see, raid leader, raid warning, battleground leader. Right. Everything besides trade chat, for the love of God. But now they're like maxed out on all this shit. Like everything I have left I can sell. I think, right? Bring in chance. You can do it. So this is the right ring and chance. And that's what I use to level up. So there's no like you get a added benefit at 375? Nothing cool like that? Okay. sell all of this shit, dude. Thank God. All of it. Yeah.
Hey, good.
Where's my other rings at?
Talk to me.
Stam, fire resist. Oh, here's my PvE rings. 24 more damage to my PvE set, which is a pretty big upgrade. Week over week. You should be able to enchant your wand or something extra, because you think like 375. It should have fucking should be a celebration. Should have a celebration, guys. Yeah, I don't need to level it to 375. I need enough for
Here,
like a few ring enchants. That's about it.
I can't use that.
Hey, good. You got my attention.
Chant ring, spell power. Might as well get these off pieces too. Where's the thing I just got here? Right. For OCD reasons. So in all reality, I have two. I need about two of these. I need about 10 and 10. No, do 12 and 12. That way you got enough for 6 ring enchants. And then I can sell all of my shit now. I don't know how much it's worth, but I have 17 void crystals. How'd that happen? Skip about. Keep 14 of them. Sell. Keep 4 on hand and 4 in the bank. And then I don't have a chant weapon to spell power. Chant gloves. 6 primal mana is expensive to enchant PvP gloves. I'll probably replace next Tuesday or whatever.
Watch your neck.
So we good now. We got all that stuff taken care of. All this arcane dust, all these prismatic shards, all this shit can just fucking be sold now. No more Harry Bush nuns, right? Right. Selling dream dust. You can make more gold selling this to a vendor. Yeah, is that true? Because how much are they for sale on here? Soul essences or what to say? If you can make more gold vendoring the fucking thing, buy all of them. How many pages are there? uh, what do they vendor for? 25. Vendors for 25, auctions for 26. So, nope, not quite. Those people are listing them for whatever. Anyway, I'm like, I found a fucking infinite money glitch. Right. Nope, didn't, but sure seemed like it for a second. Okay. Now, I guess I could really a spell thread. I just don't feel like fucking another couple hundred gold goddamn leg enchant is... It is stamina though. Well, here, let's see. I don't want to spend fucking 260 gold on my, yeah. We'll wait. I know it's like, well, what the best you can do for now, but... Because that is like what amounts to me just being like a cheapskate is 20 damage to gloves plus another 30 damage to my pants, if that's right. 35, so it's like 55 spell damage for a couple hundred gold, but we're where we need to be about it. Okay. Really now. $89 stacks of 1. Oh. Yep, the old 3-mile walkie-talkies. So runic spell thread are $239 each right now. Do 255. Keep 2 in the bank. Why didn't this arcane dust sell? I should have a whole bunch of shit here. I should be...
Interest ya in a fight?
Just keep enough to keep yourself afloat. That there, that there. Two spell threads.
Off with you.
Auctions. Auctions, auction outs. Auction, auction out. Auction, auction out. I was doing that now. I have to level band-aids at some point in time. Fuck me running. I thought this would clear out my bags. Looks like there's just as much shit as ever. Did I not list all these? Prismatic shards? Those are worth more than void crystals. How crazy is that? Just because I think epics are more likely to get passed and get disenchanted and all that. Things like Karazhan and all that, all the fucking... Alright. Alright now. I paid like a gold 30 for that vision dust yesterday.
You got my attention.
It's the most organized my bags are ever gonna get, probably.
Hey, good.
This should be all of it. Alright, man, what time is it? 10:30. Well, I guess that means I'm probably gonna log for a little while and maybe log on later.